Hello everyone, my name's Brian, that's my brother Adam. We are the Factional Fight Brothers. Forgive us about my stream here. Where's Wurm? Wurm is coming up. We are playing Wurm online today. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hello everyone in the chat. And hello Adam, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad, other than your technical woes, which
I
we've been
know.
discussing in the chat here.
Yes, we apologize for being late and turning on the stream and being 17 minutes until we started.
You could use those weird power line things. That is true, Popsicle. I think you were at one point. Are you still using those?
What, power line thingies?
Yeah, the things that go in the wall.
Ah, yes. I was until it didn't really ever work, so
Then you stopped.
I got my Wi-Fi going pretty good, so
all right, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, we're back in Wurm. Today we are going to journey back to our first ever deed somewhere, and I'm fairly certain it was right here in this little area. So that's where we got to go. We currently... Where are we, actually? We're currently right here. Somewhere here. So we're going to have to journey all the way up here. Somewhere... I'm not sure if we can get through this way. And kind of cut across here. I think that's what we used to do. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll do our best to try to navigate the landscape.
We are going to go on that journey, and when we get there, we're gonna hopefully be surprised what is there and do a whole bunch of archaeology, which we haven't touched since before it came out. And
Right.
yeah, so thanks for coming on to our stream. And let's get started. We're gonna talk all
everybody.
about Wurm today.
Hey, Fabricant, and yeah, we got affiliate. I don't know, when was that? Last time,
week?
eh?
Last time. Yeah, we finally streamed enough, I guess. I don't know. I think it was because you streamed by yourself without me.
So since the last time that we streamed, I made a whole bunch of paper for our archaeology journals. So here, hold on one second. I'm going to trade with you.
Okay. Should we bring our cart?
Our cart.
Our
I
cart?
think we should bring our cart.
Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to unload our cart. While we do that, how is everyone doing today in the chat?
Oh yes, I should get off.
Guess I'll steer here. Nice. Here we go. We ran out of food. I guess it decayed. Did it decay?
Right. It decayed, yeah. I mean,
you say that you mailed yourself some food again?
Yeah, so this is another thing that I did to prepare.
This
was
these,
my other
Spirit
character's
Castle.
a pretty good cook, so I made us. There are 5 hatchets in this spirit castle already.
There you go.
You know, this spirit castle as well was like super damaged. Yeah, super damaged. It had like 80 something damage on it, so I sat there and repaired it, and it was like a 5-minute repair timer.
This is ours, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think that ours is the one that's up by the house.
Oh. What's this one then?
This one, I don't recognize the what is it? The signature.
Yeah, I don't either. All right. Did you get the pizza?
I did get the pizza. Oh, I should put it in the cart though.
So let's start our journey. Whoop. You said you put it in the cart. I'll eat a little bit of it.
Oh yeah, me too. I should do that.
I mean, might as well.
What affinity did you get from it?
Something about shields. Large metal
I got
shield.
trapped.
Hey, Orpheus.
What does the skill traps do? Do you know?
Sorry?
What does the skill traps do?
Does it help you build traps or does it help you set traps?
Hmm.
And don't worry about it, Orpheus saying, is there a place I should watch ahead of time? I hate not being here at the beginning. Unfortunately, there's no set time for our streams, and you didn't quite miss that much. We just started our journey towards puzzles, where we're going to, I don't know, explore and do some archaeology there. Explore the world of archaeology.
Yeah, if you do follow us, you do get a notification, or if you could get a little buzz to your phone whenever we hit the stream button. How long of a journey do you remember this being? I remember doing this trip a few times now.
I'm gonna say it's gonna take us 40 minutes. What do you think?
40 minutes.
Do we
I
have to go
mean,
up that
like, we are
mountain?
going from one side of the server to the other, eh?
And I can't quite remember how,
Hmm.
to tell you the truth. And yeah, I really can't. You're going to dig dirt in Wurm? Says Deathwind. Are we gonna dig dirt? We're not gonna dig dirt.
Yeah,
Although
we need
that
more
would-
dirt on Xanadu, so we're gonna just dig 100,000 and scale it back.
Do you remember if we have to go through to Puzzle Plaza?
That's a good question. Now, somebody did mention to me that they added
I don't think we do,
somebody made
actually.
a good map for Delhi, a recent new shiny map. I'm gonna look that up.
All right. And while we go, this would be the perfect opportunity to talk about what's been going on in Wurm. Has there been any new development in Wurm that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there probably have been a lot of little things that we skipped along the way. There's a lot of things that I don't think that we've talked about. Like for example, archaeology. We did mention it before it came in, but we never talked about it as after it came into the game. If you know what I mean.
That is true. I mean, all we did was discuss what it's going to be. Did a little demo on the test server. And we didn't really have time to really
We didn't
dig into
even
it.
know anything about the archaeological journals. Like, we have no idea still, to be honest. Do you know how they work?
Just that you have to make one and then start the archaeology process. It seems to autofill.
Do you need
Or-
one in order to do archaeology?
It doesn't look like it. It just allows you to remember what you discover about the
See, so I was talking to somebody about
what does that say?
how do you increase your chances in order to get good, unique shards or fragments or
Deathwind
whatever they're
just
called.
subscribed with a tier 1 sub.
Oh,
Thank you
thanks,
very much.
Declan.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? You know more than me.
I I think it. I think that I'm not even sure. Uh,
We'll learn all of this as we go. But tier 1 sounds good, right? I don't know.
yeah. So I think this is something that is because we're an affiliate, we can get subscribed to, and we'll have to figure out what that means.
Sounds good. All right, I'm gonna take a chance and go this way. This road seems
Okay.
like it's 3 tiles long and large, and it seems like it's the correct direction. Although I do see water ahead of us, but I still think it's the right way to go.
So what I was saying before
Look the
was,
same, yeah.
what when somebody was asking me, how do you get the statue fragments? How do you get the the different kind of fragments that we actually want? Actually, yeah. And so I looked it up on the Wurmpedia, and it basically seems like it depends on a ton of factors, including how old the deed was that fell there, and whether or not there was another deed there. Let me bring up the Wurmpedia page because I had a list of items, which I think was really interesting. Because I think our goal is to get a couple of these statues, right?
That would be amazing, yes. And hello. Hello, Catspur. On my screen, your name shows up as bright neon green, and I can't quite see it. That's a little odd. Welcome to our.
Isn't it different colors on everybody's screen? I find Twitch is very
I
inconsistent
believe so. Yes.
this way.
Yes.
Let me just look it up. So it says on the Wurmpedia that the type of fragment you retrieve is based on, number one, how many settlements have been on that tile in the past. So I guess the more settlements, the
I made a
better.
mistake.
Uh-oh. I look back at the screen and we're on a mountain.
Let's just continue this way. Oh no,
It
I
is
can't
a
continue
troll
this way.
here.
And there's a troll about to kick our butt. All right.
Wait,
and it's hitting one of our horses.
There's a path. There's a path up to the top. Yeah, get away, get away. But somebody put a lamps going that way, which indicate that you
Let's
could
figure this
probably
out.
go that way.
Oh god, it's hitting our horse again. Which one?
Yeah.
It's hitting
It's hitting
your
mine.
horse. All right, this is what
This
we're gonna
is
do.
no good.
Gonna disembark. Oh, I've got no stamina.
I will.
There we go. Let's kick his butt.
Just stop it before it gets there. Okay, so as I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
before we were so rudely interrupted, or should we kill this guy first? I feel like he's almost dead.
You can do both, right? Anyway, Fabricant was trying to shed light on this. Put it simply,
Oh, okay.
the older the history of the deed and the higher your skill, the better chance of finding statue fragments. And,
Okay.
of course, much later, mask fragments.
Ooh, mass fragments. How much later should we
Beer is
expect?
Already done.
Better go get another one. I haven't even started drinking.
Oh,
I brought
better get another
some
one.
wine.
Here we go. I got one right here. All right. Let's do it.
I need a better
So-
spot for this. What are we doing?
I'm going to get back on the cart, and we're going to see if those lights actually mean anything,
Okay.
or else I went this way for no apparent reason at all.
It does look like some nice person has chiseled out a path here. Now, whether or not
That's right.
a cart can go up this path, it's another question.
Come on, cart. You can do it. You can do it. No, can't do it.
I bet you it can. I bet you it can. You gotta go a little bit to the right. Up, almost up where you
Tried
were before.
all of the tiles so far, and they
Can I-
seem to be...
Can I drive?
No, not that tile. Let's try this one. No, not that tile. I've tried every tile. Or we go to the right. So you're saying go to the right? No.
Uh-huh.
Go to the right there. Let's try this one. Can't go to the right there. The tile you just went over can't make it up to that tile that you're on.
Wait. That's
But-
where it stops?
Yeah, if I can go this way. No.
Alright, well...
What is it,
I guess
40
we're
steep?
gonna have to turn around. Our estimate of 40 minutes. It's gonna
You
be
know what?
way
I'm
off.
not gonna let this stop me.
Should we... I know what we could do. We can surface mine that down.
What? Let's just surface mine this stuff now. What we can do is push the cart.
Ah,
A
yes,
little
yes,
bit.
we can.
I don't know what that's gonna
I
mean.
I like my idea better.
You're just gonna service mine for whoever started this project and didn't finish. All right, that should be enough.
Well.
Let's see. Lead. I can't lead yours. Are you leading yours? No. You're gonna
Is
have
it
to
working?
lead your horse, and you're gonna
Sure.
have to hitch it. For some reason, I can't.
Interesting.
All right, so far so good.
Oh. It didn't let me embark as passenger, so I'm gonna have to wait for my stamina to regen.
Oh man,
And climb.
how far are you away? I can't even see you.
You just have to wait. 3, 2, 1. And I have to unclimb actually before doing that.
Nice.
And we're
Alright.
good.
Good. We got
Ah,
through that one
Then
time.
I got disconnected from the server.
What?
Not only did I get disconnected from the server, I got kicked out of the cart, and now I'm back.
Oh, okay. You were just here. I'm coming back. I don't exactly know where you are.
Okay, right there. That's good. I gotta.
All right. I assume at some point I'm going to see you. Oh, there you are. And
There we go.
I'm just gonna keep an eye on you. All right. So around 70 to 75 archaeology, which got a long way to go for that. That's when Fabricant started seeing some masks, which is great.
Nice. I just saw that Catspur raided us with a party of 5.
Nice. How did
Thanks for that.
If you're still around, Casper, how did the stream actually go?
Hmm.
Kind of a bad feeling about this.
I was just about to say that. I also have a bad feeling about this. You don't think we can't
think
push it all the
that
way down that
was
mountain?
it. I
Well,
think someone did not finish their project, and
how about we give them the benefit of the doubt and say this person
good.
is just starting this project?
yeah, good start.
Boy.
All right, let's do everything, but backwards, I guess.
See, this is how Brian here likes to travel.
Hey, you learn the most about the server this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Alright, I think that's all I have to do. Alright. I'm going to... Is that yours? Okay, hitch the cart.
I'm still pulling. Is it enough, you think?
Yeah, that's enough.
Alright.
So all that you have to do is manage to push
So
the cart onto the tile that's the problematic tile. Once it's on the tile, then you can embark on it.
I see.
And get
Oh, it's
through
not
it.
letting me embark again because of climbing. Okay, there we go. I'm on. So
Alright, guess we gotta go
I feel
from
like I'm
different
having issues
ways.
with my internet, eh?
Yes, a little bit. You're doing, but that's as expected, I think. You're doing okay now,
Yeah.
anyway.
Just let me know if I'm like cutting out or whatever.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So yeah, I'm excited to get to archaeology. Some stuff that we found, at least I found. I don't know if you did, Adam, but
Mm-hmm.
so there's two parts to archaeology. Right? There's the part of actually, picking stuff out of the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and for that you use a trowel, using a skill called investigate.
I think it's just
Something like that?
archaeology.
Archaeology.
The action is investigate, but the skill is called archaeology.
Right. So, doing that, I found that the trowel itself, it was more beneficial to have a high-level trowel.
I found that too.
And then you get these shards.
Well, why did you find that it was that way? Why do you think?
It was faster, didn't noticeably get less experience, in the sense that just the fact that you're doing many more actions led to more shards with pretty much the same amount of experience over the same amount of time.
Right. I also found that you failed a lot with the low quality. And there was longer action timers, and you failed a lot. And whenever you failed, you definitely didn't get a skill.
I remember this road.
I do remember this road too.
This road
Yes.
is pretty much exactly the same. Huh. There used
We
to
are
be a
going
deed
the right
here.
way.
Used
Yes,
to be a deed
they
right
did.
here, and
I do have a memory of this spot where a new player started, and we talked a lot with him, and we helped him out. He decided to settle on this little pond here, up just before we on the left before we hit the water there, and he might have lasted 2 weeks, and then he was gone forever.
gone forever
Yep.
to the worm gods. Here's to you, forgotten person, that we can't remember your name.
That was like way back, way back.
Huh. So, I remember this tunnel.
The blue tunnel.
There you go. It's a nice lava fiend here to find us.
And I think it's pretty close, if not exactly the same as it.
Was
It's
there a
always
blue
been.
tunnel and a green tunnel, or a red tunnel? It was a red tunnel.
Yeah, I think there was a red tunnel. Yeah.
It's still here, still going. That's pretty nice.
So this reminds me of
Greenish
something that I
crocodile?
wanted to talk about, and that
Yeah.
is people are reporting mine tiles collapsing, even though it was reinforced.
How many people are experiencing this problem?
It seems like a few, like not a lot. I mean, it would be very hard to notice unless you are in a very familiar, you spend a lot of time in mines, and you're very familiar with the mine that you're in.
No, here's the deli. I don't know, what do you want to call it? The chasm?
Oh yeah,
It's just like the natural.
there used to be a deed down here.
There never used to be that
Remember.
road.
Yeah, you're right.
Way up.
It looks like it's all terraformed so that the road fits.
Nice. It is a red. I remembered correctly.
Ah. Yes, with the two openings. You know, that's the way you used to have to make if you wanted to make a wide tunnel. This is the way it was long, long, long time ago. But now you can actually mine out that middle one. But from what I understand, in order to do that, you'd have to collapse everything and then reopen it. You can't, you won't be able to mine that one out in the middle without some work
How does
there.
that work? Do you have to mine from the outside in evenly?
Yeah.
Like you have to tell it, oh, I want to open this tile wide.
No, I
It's-
think that you open the first tile and then you can open the next tile to it.
Hmm.
I think that's how it works. I haven't done it though, but from what I understand, I think that's it. You know why that troll attacked my horse? My horse
You
is
have it
tamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you do?
I'm gonna untame that. Oh, it unhitched.
And you just unhitched it?
Okay. That's interesting.
No. You're gonna have to do it. Yeah. Go ahead.
And I'm getting the refreshing. I'm lagging? Is it backup lag?
Let me think. Nope.
Nope, I'm
It's
just
your
lagging.
own lag.
There we go. What does it say when you try to lead it and hitch it?
No, I can do it now.
Oh. Why couldn't you do it before then?
I guess because you had it tamed.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, so how many tiles wide can an opening be? I thought it was only 2.
I think they can make it 3 now. I think you can make it 3. Pretty sure.
That'd be interesting. And definitely be good for an opening like this.
Right.
You know what happened after last stream? So
Okay.
I decided to actually watch our village updates and some old videos.
Oh, you did you?
Yeah, just to see. And oh my god, I don't know if
Don't know
I
where to
can
go?
bear watching me anymore.
Oh.
However, yeah. And I also don't know where to go. Let me just think. North?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna bring up the map.
I don't recognize any of this. So
We just came out the red tunnel, right?
I'm thinking this way.
Do we want to go left around Nightmare Lake or to the right around
Right.
Nightmare Lake?
So we
Okay,
just
so
came
then
up
we
this
should have
way,
turned.
We went this way.
So we should have just
and,
come out of the red tunnel and turned right.
Should have come out of the red tunnel and turned right. All right.
Like
Let's
out of
do
the
it.
red tunnel to the end of that road and then turn right.
And
So that
now
we
it
would
looks
be
like I'm lagging. Maybe this
Okay.
is some kind of lag. Anyway, so I watched us for as long as I could bear.
Okay. What is it that you
We-
can't watch about it?
Just me. And so,
The whole time?
sorry, you kind
You're
of
just
like,
You're just criticizing yourself the whole time?
just seeing myself, I don't know, on the screen and listening to myself. I don't know. I could never do it, but I'm glad everyone else can. So anyway, I don't know. I was remembering exactly what we did all those years ago, and seeing all of the accomplishments that we've done, even ones that I didn't remember at all, just little ones, and seeing the
Like what?
changes in Wurm. And why does this look like it's the end of the road again?
Wait, did we turn right and then we turn left again? Let me
That's
just see
correct. I'm gonna go over
Whoa.
this bridge. This bridge is amazing looking.
here. You know, here's the thing. We don't have a deed in order to like head towards. So yeah,
This
turn
is old
right,
school.
then left.
This is just, we're just doing it.
This-
No,
Okay,
wait,
so
what
we're-
lake is this? Is this the lake?
So this is
the
Nightmare Lake. This is
So there's
Nightmare Lake.
Okay, so I know where I am then. I
Okay,
mean,
good.
it looks completely different, but when we first came
Yeah.
here, the very first time, We
Oh my
went
goodness.
this way to
This
the
does look
left.
good. Okay, yeah.
And to the right, I remember to
Was
the
this
right,
where-
like, I remember everything that's that way. But the first time we came this way, and the reason why I remember is that we got to a place, because we were on foot and we had no skills, and it was the dark. And
Yeah.
and we went across. I don't know if we just chose this direction, and eventually it leads to a forest.
Okay.
And oh god, we gotta watch out for Charlie. I don't see Charlie.
Is
But
this
I'll keep
around
an eye
where Archer lived? Do you remember Archer?
I don't remember, to tell you the truth. But we got to a point where we were like up on. There's a hilly area if we keep going this direction, and I remember, like, when you have no skill and you have no like fighting skill, and there was maybe 4 of us, and we were going through this, the kind of the mountainy area. We had this skill that we were developing where you couldn't see anything. It was all like pitch black at the time, and you would just kind of move your mouse around like this.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
all
I
of
found a
us were
troll
like,
actually.
We'll go this way. And we're just moving our mouse around, and thank you, Popsicle. Why is that on our screen? It says Popsicle, Popsicle is now. And then I thought maybe I could make that thing bigger so I could see what he's like is now what. And so I made it bigger, and it just made all the text bigger. I'll have to play around with that later, but let me go over here.
Yeah.
Is now,
I think it is now following. Thanks.
has now
Popsicle.
follow. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I don't know how to. I'll fix that later. So
I just used that method
Yeah.
to find a troll up
so
the
we're
head.
like doing this, and all imagine 4 people like okay, just try to find out where, and you would like get to one place, and it would be you'd see a red outline of like a mountain lion or something, and at that point everybody was scared of everything. Like, even a wildcat.
Right.
Like there. There's an
This
old
was
black
back before you got the starter gear. Like recently I started up playing a new account, and I noticed these days you get to start with like a 50 quality sword. Did you know that?
Yeah, I remember when they made those changes, and I'm guessing that it helps a lot. I haven't tried it. You've just tried it, so you just started with your son.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Yeah, for
so
sure.
that's
You
kinda
could probably
crazy.
kill a bear right out the gate. Probably kill a bear.
You killed a bear? Well, just 2 of you,
No,
or just one?
I haven't killed a bear. I haven't tried because I'm too afraid to try. But based on like we fought a wolf and didn't get a scratch on us.
That's pretty good. Wow. Do you think it has to do with there's also a 24-hour like newbie period where it's easier to fight? I don't know if it's easier to fight or it's easier to
I
heal.
know it's easier to fight. It's easier to heal. It's that you'll heal a little bit more.
You're
You-
doing that intro. I don't know if other people can hear. You're doing that the internet issues.
Yeesh.
That's okay. Alright, I'm pretty sure. I kind of remember there being like a really tall deed around here.
I'm wondering if I turn off my
Yeah.
camera, will it be better?
Probably not. Oh, there's an opening here, so that's pretty cool.
If it only has to
Let's go
stream the audio.
Glad we're not getting stuff. Alright. Yeah, I guess there's no more. There's no more getting killed by. I don't know what. do you think it would take to die in this game now as a new player? Does our run video telling people to run away from everything still apply?
Yeah, I would say that it probably doesn't anymore.
So you shouldn't run away?
Right. I
In
feel
the
like
sense
that
that you
it
wouldn't
does
even
change.
like get wounded enough to need like a healing cover or something?
I think now what we need is a video about what mobs you should run away from and which ones you can kill successfully. You know what I mean? Like we should probably go around with a new character and just try to kill everything and see if we would die or not.
Yeah, because there is the issue of getting hurt and getting damaged, and then needing the right materials to heal yourself.
I do like the change in that when you start out, it now makes it feasible to get meat, right? Like you can go and kill that cow that you see or the wildcat and get, meat that a newbie really needs to survive.
I mean, and I think that's a good thing. The fact that you can actually kill something and then you can get the parts that you need from it to do other things that you see. Let me just double check. So we were over there. I'm going to go this way. I'm not going to take that path. So this was the mountain. We lived
Wait, is
just
this
north of this mountain.
this is still Nightmare Lake?
This is still Nightmare Lake. And you can see all these deeds that used to be here, all the remnants of old deeds. Oh,
Did we go around around the west side of Nightmare Lake?
We went around the west side. Yes, correct.
Oh, I thought we were going around the east side. Okay.
Yeah, so Fabricant saying that a fresh account can kill a wolf, but can get pretty messed up from it.
Now I'm looking at the deed, or where our deed was on the pixely map, where you can see each tile, and I can see all of the mine entrances still open.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. I
So
would really wonder if somebody.
Last time we were
thought
here, wow, none of this was here. Obviously, there was no multi-story.
Right.
There's no multi-story. This is actually pretty awesome. Yeah.
Well, we might have come back here after there was multi-story.
Let's see. Harmony Pass Heritage Site. Do not alter without consent of Wurm GM team. I always wondered what a heritage site allowed people to do, or what the reasoning was it for it. And all it seemed like when I asked one day, I think I asked Retro, and I said, what are we allowed to do on a heritage site? What are the permissions are set on a site like that? Does it make it so things don't decay, or does it make it so the mine doesn't collapse or something, or how does it maintain?
Right.
And
okay. And there's a troll.
I'll move you around here. Are you close enough to it?
Yeah.
And apparently, it does none of those things.
Really? I would have guessed that it at least stopped decay.
And that all it does is inform players that they should not alter this area. And that you could potentially get in trouble for it, but it doesn't stop you from doing it.
I see. And I suppose then GMs probably have the ability to then put it back to the way it was, using their GM1 powers.
That I'm not sure. Now, we're getting to a place, I thought. Although it kind of looks different, so I'm not entirely sure.
Where are we now?
No,
Are we on the...
I'm getting lost just because of how different this place is.
Are we still on the west side, or have we gotten to the north?
You know what I think? So I think we got into the north, and I'm pretty sure what's happened here is that people have filled in the lake with water, with dirt.
With
Because
land,
there
I see.
used to be a bigger water area going this way, and there would be a deed, kind of like where this one is, but it would be such a skinny little area that in order to get through this area, you had to go through a 1 tile wide fence. Yeah, this was it, but it was like really skinny. And this was all water. This whole thing was water, and then only when you got to like this area did the water stop. Wow, there's a lot of animals here, eh?
You know what I noticed is my horse has a medium wound that we should probably heal as well at some point.
No, okay. Okay, so
let's get away from these
this
spiders.
area gets really hilly from what I remember.
Okay. Which way are we heading? North right now?
We're going north, and I used to explore this area just all the time from head to toe.
I do remember this valley.
This path never got changed, and
I know. This is exactly what it looked like before.
1 tile wide path, and that was good enough at the time.
It's like pristine land here.
Wow. I kind of remember there being copper over here in one of these mines.
I do remember that. Man, you're remembering way better than I am. I'm like remembering because you're saying it. Yeah. I am amazed that this is just pristine land. Like perfect spot for deeds here.
It's exactly the way that I remember it. Like over by Nightmare Lake, it was completely different. But this is exactly the same. So you can see, you can imagine just going through like a whole bunch of newbies, finding where the spiders are. Wow. And getting to the point where you'd have to map out your next like walk. Like how far can you walk without getting attacked? Because you're in a forest. There's no... What was that? Oh.
There's a wolf.
And you can't walk fast. You can't outrun animals. So you have to kind of choose wisely your path.
Right.
And it was I just remember it being the most intense moments.
That was a big draw
now,
that we had to this game.
This is it,
survival.
Right. So imagine we get to this point, and we know we need to go that way.
Okay.
And we're looking. We're like, okay, there's a spider here, and we're
I
all
see
doing this, and we're all telling each other exactly where everything is. And we're like, okay, we need to go to the left, and make it.
And we would plan
so
out.
Far, and we're like, we'll make it to this tile here, and then we all stop and we reassess the situation, and we're going through.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we would have died at this point. I'm really bad.
And then that's not true. That would happen, and we would all freak right out and run in all the different directions.
Man, we would
and run around in circles.
In this. Look at how many trolls there are.
We would never make it through this valley.
And we got to a point where, we were failing pretty bad. And we knew that there was water, and we knew that if we went into the water, that would save us somewhat. So we just made a run for it to Willow Pond. This road was never here. We were very adamant at the time to not build any roads. This direction had no roads. If you wanted to come to our place, you would just have to go through the forest, and we liked it.
Yeah.
So none of these roads were here.
Although there was kind of a road that decayed a little bit in this area, but this is all this new. This road is new.
And there was somebody, I can't remember their name, we became friends. They made the deed at the very, very top of this mountain.
Oh right. What was that guy's name?
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he still played.
Really?
Yeah, up until a specific point. Let's see if we can go in here. Nope. Is that even open? Maybe not.
Possibly, or collapsed, one or the other. I do have a memory of
A
that.
lot more roads than when we left. And
Hey, here it is.
Willow Pond.
Somebody filled it in a little bit.
Yep. A lot more cobblestone than it ever was. So when we came and when we left, it was completely just nature.
So yeah, this was no, there was a little
Used to be a deed
terraforming
here.
and there was a terraformed landing up on the top across the water from us right now. Do you remember that? It had a little
there was a
fenced
deed.
area. I'm not sure if it was a deed, was it? It was.
It wasn't a deed. It used to be a deed or something.
Yeah. Some new player, when we got here, some new player had sort of built a little fence and had a couple farm tiles, and but it stopped playing.
So for people wondering, like Popsicle, is this the deed where you guys did the terraforming videos? This is not the deed, actually, that we did the terraforming videos. If you
Right.
want to know what this deed was, go to our
Very
very-
first video.
very first video. I think it was called Episode 0.
Yeah,
It was like an Episode 0 or something. I don't know.
there was an episode 0. Yeah, it's the one before the
It's
very
kinda
first
weird.
one.
Yeah.
The very,
And-
very first one.
And you see us in this spot on a... Maybe we had like a rowboat in here.
Uh-huh.
And we just like ran a rowboat,
Okay.
and then we ran on horses.
Stop
and
for a
then
second. Stop for a second. You have to
Yeah.
come over here. You have to come over
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
and
This is
look
it.
up the
Oh
mountain.
my god. Oh my god. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Okay, so for people
There it is.
for people that don't know, so
There it is.
does anybody see it before I say anything? Does anybody see anything about this mountain?
There it is.
That's right, Deathwind. It's I don't know. I can't remember when or why I did it. I made Mario.
It's actually not Mario.
It's not Mario because there was no way to make a red at the time. There was no way to make it red. So I made him Luigi. Because I put grass in his hair and of course it now has trees all over it. It's still there. I can't
Remember,
believe
we
it.
liked thinking about pixel art and making things like that in Wurm. We stopped doing that though.
Yeah. We see
I
it
don't know why.
from here and there from lots of people who do it, which is great.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's an old tortoise. I think that's the first wild tortoise I've ever seen.
We can try to butcher a high quality shell from it.
Oh, really? Where are you? Okay, on top of that, puzzle protector. We built this guard tower. This was one of the first, if not the first guard tower we ever created, right here.
Right. Totally. And even back then, it was all you putting in every single
The
piece.
name of the founder, Feyran, has been carved into the stone above the door. Feyran 210 is engraved in a metal plaque on the door.
That was one of the first things we ever did, of that magnitude. Like we had built a little fenced area, and I think we had built our first house that was a 2x3.
Mm.
But then the very next thing we did was that tower there. Pretty much. Now, I do remember you being the one who put in most every piece into there, but I do also remember me being in this mine, mining out all the rock shards that needed to be made into bricks.
Yeah, probably. Is the mine still there?
It looks like
No,
there's at least the mine door. It's a rock face now.
I guess it must have collapsed.
Let's mine it
Try
out.
to open it. see if it actually opens to anything. Man, our first mine was horrible. I don't know why we did this, but we basically... Well, why do you think we did this? We basically said, okay, let's prospect. We're prospecting to that iron vein, and we went up the mountain here, and we kind of did the prospecting thing outside, right? And we found this is the tile that has the iron vein, and we would go this many in and this many to the left or to the right, and so our mine ended up just being one tile wide, and it would just lead to the vein. And then we found some other veins, so some other veins like way over here. So then we just had this long hallway, one tile wide hallway, through this mine entrance to that vein. And so we just had a very long mine.
Well, a lot of it was just me mindlessly mining to gain skill, and then we did find some gold back there, way far deep into that.
What does it help? There it is.
Yes, once we had that. Do you remember what we did before we got this guard tower here? How we handled all these mobs in this wilderness?
We did the whole fence technique.
Yeah.
Oh my god, here it is. Nobody built on our deed.
Let's come see.
Oh my god. So
all of this,
we
terraformed all this?
We terraformed this whole thing. So this was like the village area of our place. And we decided at the time we're going to make it out of wood. We're gonna put wood panels on the ground as our...
I remember. I was the one who was like, we're putting wood, and you're like, great.
Yeah. Because it was the hardest one.
Yeah.
This was your first station right here.
Right
was
there.
Your
wow.
First station of...
boy, oh boy. This brings back memories. Yep.
That was it.
It was in this corner.
Sweet.
We had it was just one big rectangle of, or maybe it was even square. Just stone fences around everywhere.
I'm going to find that tortoise if I can find it.
I mean, this amount of mobs is what I remember there being when we started.
Yeah.
Like, it was completely filled, this whole area.
Alright, you ready? You're going down, tortoise.
And our little house was here. We had our stables down over here. Oh goodness, another troll.
Oh, they gave the tortoise the sound of the cave bug.
We're just gonna start bringing these things to the guards.
Just too many, eh?
It's just... I would like to get to what we were going to do here.
I'm like, it's crazy to know that this whole time... Alright, got the tortoise. Do you have a higher butchering skill than I do?
Yes, probably. What's your butchering skill?
I'm gonna lay it out here. I come back to more.
I know.
Is there any more guards that can help? Nope. There are none.
Do they all die?
I'm not sure.
Did you end up getting that tortoise?
I did.
Okay.
I will place it down. How is this age troll? This age troll is almost dead.
This is good for our combat skills.
That's true. There it goes. Here,
I mean,
I'll
all
place
these
it down
people,
here.
all these people crying out for hunting servers. Just find a place to hunt because there's tons of
What a
it.
deli. All right, I'm getting off this cart. This was our house. Our house was here.
Yeah, we
I
had
think it
we had a
was
couple
only
houses. Didn't
3 by 3. Oh, yeah, there was a few houses here. Wow, this place
we? No,
overgrown.
that one was 2 by 3.
I planted. Oh, a corpse of an aged champion lava spider.
Yeah, I saw that. You know, it's sad to see that the oak tree we
can't see
planted is
anything
not
from
here. Remember that oak tree?
Somebody deeded over there.
Yeah,
Or
I
at
do
least-
see that. But you remember that oak tree we planted? And ever since then, we always put
Yeah.
oak trees as the centerpiece of our deeds.
And it's still there?
No, it's gone.
Oh, it's gone. Lots of lavender and oleander bushes.
Yeah, probably because
We
of
had to
you.
bring so many in here because there was none.
You know what
There
I
were none.
realize as well is that the
How about
what am I
the
trying to
olive
say?
tree?
The olive forest. Yeah, the olive
Where's
forest.
that?
Looks like
I
somebody
want my
came in.
olive forest.
It wouldn't be the same because the olive trees have changed. Remember?
So, yeah, that's true. But all down this side was just all olive trees.
And do you remember your little path? Here's
Where's
your
my
little path.
I'm gonna go find my path. I made a path out of
Gravel.
gravel. There it is. Oh my god.
The whole way. Let's take it. This was the best path, and maybe it will go through what's left of this olive tree forest.
I made it completely windy, unnecessarily windy.
Right.
And it was
Yeah.
the path that people would take to come to the labyrinth. Our
Right.
first labyrinth.
Did you take a look at that labyrinth?
I didn't. I didn't
Okay.
watch the video.
Well, we'll have to do that. No, I mean now. Just
Oh,
now. Did you
now,
go take a look at
no,
what the
I
labyrinth
haven't.
looks like?
I
We
do
should
want
go
to.
do that. Okay.
Look at this
Me
path. It's
too.
all still there. Not even one tile's gone yet. There it is. The olive trees definitely look a lot skinnier than when they were.
Yeah.
We
This
were
place
here
was a
last.
complete 100% olive tree forest. There was none of this extra.
Nice
There's-
natural olive tree forest.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, it was insane. I remember getting to that willow pond and then trying to come through the olive forest. That, yeah, that was not fun.
There it is. Somebody destroyed the very end of it to build their road. There used to be a sign right here that said, "This way to puzzles," or Puzzle Labyrinth, or whatever it was.
Hmm. All right, let's start this archaeology.
Alright. Surprising how most of it is still here.
To me, what's surprising is how much space there is still on Delhi.
Puzzles is still kind of there, and Autumn Twilight is completely gone.
Right. Yeah, Autumn Twilight is. What's amazing is that it's not only that the buildings are gone. It's almost like every bit of land is completely not familiar.
Yeah.
Like you're right
This
here.
place
You
is
look and you're like, okay,
ridiculous.
this little spot was my work area. This little spot was my house.
Mm-hmm.
And Autumn Twilight, it's like you can't even recognize anything.
All right. Look at this. This was the labyrinth. How did I get down here?
I have to come see.
This was the road. So I built this road that went all the way around the labyrinth.
Right.
There would be signs. Looks like all of our signs are gone. Saying, welcome to the puzzle village. And this was our little area. We would have farming tiles here. We had our house. Basically everything was here. How many
From what I
trolls can we
remember,
kill, eh?
I know there's just there's so many of them. From what I remember, this wasn't that big of a deed.
It was very tiny.
I think
Very
it might have been only 13 tiles wide
Yeah.
by 20
Then,
something.
Yeah, in the village, there was like a little area, let's say over here, that was fenced off. I guess right here.
Huh? None of. Huh?
No, not even there. It was over there. This was a secret entrance. That was only an exit. And so you'd come down here, and this would be the entrance to the labyrinth. Right here. Oh, look, another. Oh my god, one of my statues is still there.
A
Two
lot
my
of the
statues
statues
still
are
there.
down here.
Wow.
There's a bunch of stuff down here, actually.
Another troll?
You're fighting a troll, and I'm also fighting a troll.
That's kind of crazy. What's my fighting still doing? 75. Yeah, I'm really bad at fighting.
Now, can you do archaeology in a mine?
In a mine. Huh. We'll give it a shot. Can you do archaeology only on certain kinds of tiles? No archaeology underground or in buildings.
There you go.
Alright. So wow, my low level statues are still here.
Right. There's some troll
30
statues
quality.
that have been painted green in here, too.
Really? I remember those colors. And
Are
this
really...
just shows you how small the troll statues used to be in comparison to the way they are now.
Right, because they were the
Look at
different
that.
model.
This is somebody else's.
Yep. Totally.
But who knows if this is... Oh, look at this.
So was this an actual entrance to the labyrinth?
Wow.
Yes, these are mines in the labyrinth, that's for
These
sure.
were the... Definitely... What was that?
Lava fiend.
Ah.
Oh, and a hellhound. And a unicorn. What is going on in here?
Look at all this stuff.
You know, I remember when we first started playing that it almost felt like certain animals were regional, or at least like in a certain region. For example, you would go to one spot and there's like a ton of trolls just in that one area,
Yeah.
and then you go to another spot and it's like mostly goblins, and then you go to another area and it's like mostly wolves. Not that it's only wolves, but mostly. I feel like that got changed at some point. Or maybe it was my imagination. I don't know.
Wasn't that to deal with the layers?
What do you mean, what layers?
Like the actual objects in the game called layers.
Oh.
One would spawn like a dog layer, and then there'd just be dogs everywhere.
Oh, those things. Maybe. I mean, they still have those layers in the game, but I'm not sure exactly how spawns work, but it seems a lot more randomly distributed.
Hmm. Now it's just spiders are everywhere, and everything else
Like
is random.
I remember there was like a place where on the old Delhi map it marked where the Troll King was. Because I remember
That's
when we
right.
first started, the Troll King hadn't been killed yet. You know, back when they were unique.
Yeah.
And that whole area was just trolls.
That's true. Something that you don't notice. So when you see these statues, there's actually a clue as to where to go. Notice every single statue of a girl is pointing in the exact same direction.
Yeah. We didn't use that clue in the new labyrinth, did we?
We did not notice. Statue of a girl, she's still pointing that way. There was a very secretive place over here. I don't even remember which one. That would eventually lead you to the city. Which,
Yeah, there were similar style puzzles in this one as the front area of the new labyrinth.
which I believe led you somewhere over here. Right here.
Ah, this was the cat. I'm in the city.
This was the city right here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, our fountain is still
The
here.
fountain is still there. There used to be a mine door on top of it, and the fountain sat on top of that. And then we covered it with carpets or something to make it so that you couldn't see that there was a mine door there.
That's it. Notice that the water is only 1,000 weight. Because it's not actually a water tile. I just filled it up. And there's a lot of
mobs
in
here, eh?
Yeah.
See, our hunting ground.
I loved the way that I built this village area.
Me too. I really liked it. And then it
There's
led
not really
right
a
up.
lot left, but wow, doesn't look like anybody touched it at all.
You know, it had a ton of buildings on it, yet the ground is all uneven. Were we able to build on
You were
uneven
able
ground
to
back then?
build uneven buildings back then. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, that's
So
why.
this led up to the castle, and you notice the castle wasn't really a castle. It was a bunch of tall stone walls with slabs
Right.
on dirt like this.
Right. It was like this uneven looking thing, and if you go up to the top of it, there's a hole in the middle, right?
And we always talk about you, and to get in, you had to get a key. Like we had to just make
Right.
lots and lots of keys and put them and hope that people didn't take more than one.
That's what I remember. Yeah, I remember that. We put like 100 keys into a chest
You'd, like,
somewhere so that
take
people
the
were able to.
key. You get the key, then you can get through the door. So you get through
Didn't
the
we have
door.
to put that off deed? We had a mine spot
Yeah, I
off
think
deed
we had to
in
put it off deed.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to go into this area. Was actually what we talked about before. Oh my god.
You
More
have to go
trolls.
around this.
That was the fence area. This is the where
Yeah.
we made it all uneven as we could, and then just put a fence gates on every single tile.
Every single tile had a fence gate.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
all still here.
And that's where I had planned to make the timed gate openings.
That's right.
Remember?
2 trolls.
Yeah, I know one got me. Yeah, I wonder if we should take anything of this home with us. Casper's saying we should take the troll model, the troll statues.
They're still the new troll statues, aren't they? It's just
Yeah, they're the
made
same
them
as the new
long
ones.
time ago.
Yeah, trolls all looked different back then. They didn't have this. How would you call it?
They were very dark green and had no animation at all.
And
They looked more like orcs, I guess.
Right. Yeah. They were like bald and had a small head, and a skinny body.
Although their face looked fierce. Yeah, we were just reminiscing. Then this was the ending. You would go around here.
I wonder if the ending is still open.
Let's find out. And
I think you went around the other way, right? Like not that direction. You would go around
both ways. Actually,
both ways. Okay.
You would have to climb up here, and there was a sign inside of here. So inside of this was another drop. So people familiar with the new labyrinth. We could just dig one spot and take it home.
Well, here's one thing that I really like about the archaeology system is that you get to take home the report, right, from the deed, which is that's going to be nice to have that.
So there used to be a sign right here that said something like,
take a leap of faith.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was more like, shout that you tell the puzzle king that you have no power over him, that he has no power over you, and jump. And it was supposed to be a reminder of the movie, the part of the movie where she had to fall at the very end, make that leap of faith.
I found a sign that is still here.
Go down here, and this is the end. And there used to be gold candelabras in here. We made it look really nice. Then you're gonna
laugh when you get up here.
And there'd be a chest. Oh my God, there's the chest.
There's the chest.
And there would be you would get your reward out of there. We just put a whole bunch of statuettes that said like the puzzle trophy.
Yeah.
It was the first ever. Oh, no more statuettes in there. And then, oh my God, I remember this.
I'm gonna repair it. It has my signature on it.
Key return box.
Yeah.
Because we want people to place the keys back there so we could then bring them around back to where they would find them.
Yeah.
We didn't have to make more keys. Oh my God.
We had a ton of keys for that.
How is that still there? Why is that the only sign that's still there? There's
the key
so
return
many
box.
signs.
I'm repairing it all.
Like we thought people would actually return the keys at the time.
Congratulations on completing the puzzle labyrinth. Please take one trophy as a token.
Oh my God, where's that?
It's over here.
Congratulations on completing the puzzle labyrinth. Please take one trophy as a token.
I don't even think that it is.
Oh my God.
Oh, it is. It's firmly secured to the ground by me.
That's awesome. And then you would
go I wonder if I can take it.
Which is collapsed.
I can.
Can't go out this way.
I can take it. I wonder if I can take this sign.
There you go. We're taking the signs with us.
You're the one who probably... Oh no, it's Nasili.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Nasili won't be able to take that.
We can't get out that way. We got to go back this way. We fell into this place. Or do you want to mine out? Maybe we can mine out.
Huh. Do you think this is the one tile?
That's the tile. Yeah.
If I just mine here, it'll open it up.
Let's find out how long it'll take us to mine here. And
should we mine up?
I think it's going to force us to. Did we have problems with people taking too many, keys or trophies or whatever?
I would mine up because it might not.
What do you think?
Are you mining
Do you
up?
remember having problems? Don't worry about mining up.
Trust me. I've had that issue where it instead of opening to the open like to the outside, it just mines straight and it stays under the ground. And then
Word.
you're screwed. Okay, sorry, what were you saying?
Did we have any problems
Oh, there's a question, I see.
with people taking too many? That was a big concern at the beginning. I think I kind of remember us having many conversations about how we were going to tackle the end of our labyrinth and
Right.
whether people would abuse it. But I think overall, we came to the conclusion that the Wurm community in general was good enough to not do it, and we never really had any problems. Even there was the first ever tournament that we held here.
Right.
We gave away, like, we didn't give away, I guess we did. We were offered a Drake set to give away.
Right.
And even that, there was no problems.
Yeah. We never really had the issue. I think that it got to the point where we couldn't maintain it for very long.
Yeah,
Couldn't keep
you
making
can
trophies.
imagine. Okay, imagine this. Yeah, you have to create trophies. You have to keep creating keys and putting keys back deep into a labyrinth that you have to traverse yourself. There was no
Right.
We didn't put that many ways to get in or out, so we just had
Right.
to kind of work.
It was either the front door or the back door. We had the ability to go through the back door.
Every single
not
mine entrance.
We did have a side door to the.
There was a side door into the castle, and that was it.
Yeah.
There was a mine entrance. Every single mine entrance that had a rock-facing door decayed very quickly within a month.
Yeah.
So I had a pile. In
how
our
you got
village of like 20 of them at a time, and I would slowly be bringing them in and replacing what gets decayed.
Right.
Because they decayed even while on deed. Okay.
Right. I am going to start this archaeology.
And yeah, this was just crazy.
It is
seeing all
crazy. Yeah, I mean, we haven't been back here for a long time.
this. Let's do some sleep bonus.
Good call. Good call.
And it's still here. Look at that. This is probably, and just because this is our first ever place, one of my favorite places in the game. Just looking out towards Willow Pond.
Right.
Just listening to Wurm, the sounds of Wurm in our little private area.
Yeah.
Truly just my favorite spot. How is it still here? Although,
So I was watching. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I was
so
just about to say. Okay. You go ahead.
Mine's really quick.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
This is reminding me. So our first few videos when we looked like Robin Hoods, right?
Right.
Everybody looking around. And, should they bring back the Robin Hood look as an item, clothing that you can create?
Like as an option?
No, as like clothing that you can create.
Oh, I see. Huh. You know, I think in general, I'd like to see more clothing I do. They did, increase the number of items that you could make. Like, did they add wool clothes? I don't remember.
What do you think? And yeah, there's a bunch of. I think there's wool clothes. Is there wool clothes? There must be.
But I think that adding more options, including, the Robin Hood outfit, that would be great.
Would you rather have them make it so it's an item in the game that you can craft, or have it as like a Christmas present that you would get for the nostalgia in all of us, but not the new players?
I would rather it be a crafted thing.
Something that's just anybody can have at any point, and not like something that you can bring out and wear and be like, "Oh, look at me! Look at what we used to be able to be."
Here's the thing: I would rather that there were more items that you can craft added before adding, the one-time only items. If you know what I mean.
Well, here's an idea. Would you, instead of just having the clothes, so let's say they added the clothes as the option.
Okay.
How about the idea of them giving us the ability, as a gift or something, to revert your avatars back to the Robin Hood avatar?
I don't think that they should do that because that model was way different and had no animation.
They could include animation on that same model.
It'd be like you walking through Wurm as it is now, where it looks more or less like a little bit realistic, and then there'd be this guy who's walking through totally out of place.
I think that would be so funny. It would be like a potion. It would be a potion that you would
drink,
I can, and then you'd be like, poof, I'm Robin Hood for the next that's 30 minutes.
I would totally accept it if they made that as an option, or one of the things that you turn into when you drink a yellow potion.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But not one that you would but sure, that would be cool. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Yeah, I miss the Robin Hood. How about
when that model that they and you get onto a horse and he's standing still?
They should release like a standing potion or something for horses, something that makes you stand on a horse. Should we have a standing horse skill? That's just
Now that would be cool as like an addition, like an acrobatic skill where you can stand on the horse.
We need more of those things. I mean, we need to have a swimming skill, right? That's something we need. We need to.
I would agree with that.
A climbing skill, not a climbing skill. We have a climbing skill. We need to have a safe fall skill.
Right, safe fall. That'd be cool.
And we need to have a standing on horse skill. Huh? Not saying in particular which one is more important than the other. They all might be just as important. But this
so
place...
with the archaeology skill, how do you feel about how much
what do I have here?
Junk you get?
I think the junk is necessary and makes you feel like you're part of this whole... Look, I already got a puzzles report.
Nice.
There are a few basic hints to where this village once may have resided, but not enough for anything meaningful. Perhaps investigating around the village area some more will provide more location clues, and I got no other information about it.
Huh.
So, just to say, our archaeology skills are about in mine are about in the 40s, low 40s. Yours, I think, are higher.
I just hit.
Maybe 50 something or 60.
I'm like 50, 51.
Okay, 50s. And you do get a lot of items. Am I getting hit? Yeah, I'm getting hit again. Another troll. Who would have thought? I think that is it necessary? It's necessary to feel like you're progressing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, it is a lot of junk, but what I look at junk as is something that helps you skill up, and it ensures that as you're skilling up, you're not gonna like clean up. You're not gonna get. How do I put it? This game, you want the progression to be slow. Otherwise, you're gonna get everything there is, and it will be done, and you'll get bored. And I think they got the difficulty just right. You get a whole bunch of junk, but the junk you're skilling up on, and then every so often you get something that you need, and you put that piece away on the trophy shelf, and all the junk gets put away as sort of scrap. And you can kind of think of that as the leftovers from the skilling process.
Do you feel like there should be a way to destroy or discard the fragments?
I mean, I would argue that there
Should
already
be an easier way?
is. Yeah, well, that's another.
Well, what
thing,
way
yes.
is there?
I was using the trash bin to try to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff as I was cleaning out, and I did notice that it is super slow process to delete items like this. You put them in there, and it's almost like it takes an hour before they all disappear. And I tried to cheat it by putting a bag and putting 100 items in that bag, and then doing that several times. And what ended up happening was the bags got destroyed, but all the items got poured onto the ground.
It says you can just sacrifice the trash fragments.
Right.
That's
true.
altar called trash disposal. So that seems like, what would you call that? Like a
workaround.
a workaround as opposed to a solution.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you used to use large carts as a storage inside of houses,
Right.
instead of like a shelving unit, which they have now.
I keep getting the message.
Yeah.
You can't find any traces of any abandoned settlements here.
But
Keep
here's
getting
the
that.
issue I have with the solution of, let's say, a trash bin or even an altar. That
Okay.
would mean that you would have to bring your fragments, all of them, back to your deed.
Mm.
And the whole point of archaeology is that you're not at your deed. You're supposed to be exploring the world like we are. I'm not
Right.
going to bring thousands and thousands of fragments back to Xanadu just to destroy them.
That's true. Right. And what I end up doing when I'm out there and I'm uncovering all these things, I just end up just tossing them on the
Yeah,
ground.
what are people supposed to do other than litter the ground?
Right.
So again, should there be a discard mechanic?
Yeah.
would
Kind of like
be-
how with like rock shards, you can discard them right from your inventory. I would say there should be. There should be.
Or by dropping them all over the deed that we're on, like puzzles here. We get like so many and we drop them. Does that add to the like, I don't know.
That'd be cool.
People
That would
come
be a
here
cool
and they're like,
mechanic.
"Oh wow, there's all these like fragments on the ground. That's kind of
Oh,
cool for new players."
actually, I misinterpreted what you're gonna say. I thought you were gonna say making it so that if they could somehow keep track of how many fragments decay on a certain spot, it would make that area more prestigious, or not prestigious, but have a better chance at getting more of the unique fragments.
If you were to decay
I guess that
them,
makes no sense though, because
I
yeah.
already have no more space in my inventory. Although I did get something called a deadly orb. Anybody know what this is?
I do. A deadly orb is a Valray item. Those items normally only drop off of Valray mobs, which are normally only on PvP servers. Although I've heard that they're no longer on Chaos for some reason. Or they've gotten rid of them, maybe even on Epic too. Right, why can't we throw them into a crate? Yeah. Or a BSB.
That's a good question. Yeah, I wish that we could. But if it's just junk, I feel like there should be some kind of discard mechanic. Would be probably the best for server lag and just having less items in general from archaeology just lying around everywhere. So better for the database? I don't know.
Right. Fabricant does bring up a good point that the information stored on the item would get lost as it goes into the BSB.
Yeah. There would be a specific piece of information.
I mean, they could probably figure out a way to do it, but...
Yeah. So in saying... Before, remember when I was saying highest level item for when we were investigating or doing the archaeology side, but in doing the restoration side, we found that it's the same rules apply for when you're imping, for skill out of a certain crafting skill. So what does that mean? That means your tool should be relatively so when you start out,
okay,
if I remember correctly, the tool should be roughly about level 30-ish or something.
Okay.
Can't remember. Just to give yourself a good chance of succeeding in what you're doing. If it was too low, there was a problem, and I can't quite remember. Like you told me this a number of years ago in
Wait, so you're
one
saying
of our
if
videos.
When you're just doing an action
To maximize the amount of experience,
okay,
while doing a skill, in this case restoration,
like archaeology, okay, restoration, yeah.
What would your tools need to be?
So here's the thing with archaeology, I have no idea exactly how this skill works. We've already established that a high quality trowel seems to be better for skilling up.
Yeah,
at least
now
at
let's
first.
go to restoration.
Now for restoration, what we've been doing is using low quality tools with, Circle of Cunning on them. But to be honest, I have no idea.
I tried high quality
way.
tools, and that was not the best way.
Okay. So, what does that mean?
That means it's similar to the way that, let's say, blacksmithing works.
So does it also mean then that you want to make your action timer as longer as possible?
Yeah, and you get substantially amount of more experience doing that.
I mean, one thing that I tried was putting on climb.
The
I
problem
was like,
is that it's not as simple as. Oh, of course, I'm using the wrong.
ooh, I just got a rare unidentified fragment. Let's see if I
Wonder
can
what it's gonna be.
get
Yeah,
something.
this one's better. All
So
right,
earlier I got a rare crude pickaxe fragment, and I think we only need one more because I got a couple, and we will have ourselves a rare
crude pickaxe. Wonderful. That's exactly what we need.
Hey, Stardog.
Hey,
Wormites.
we're all wormites here.
I
would
do
assume.
recall that being in a debate on the forums about what we should address Wormians as. I've always liked Wormians, but Wormites works too.
That's an actual debate.
Yes, Fabricant is mentioning that all you need is one rare fragment. One rare fragment will make the final item rare.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I think a lot of people misinterpreted that to meaning that that if you have one rare component and you add it to an item, that it'll become rare. But I don't think that's the case. It turned out to be a marble brick. So hey, we're gonna get a rare marble brick.
So, I wanted to talk a little bit about this apparent massive change coming to the craft, not the fighting system and like the priest system and all this stuff. What the heck is going on there, and how much do you know?
Right. I know probably what most, if you've read the news. I also caught a little bit on. Is it? Yeah, Emu. Emu had a episode where he had Buddha and Retro on. They talked a little bit about it. I know that there's going to be a huge revamp to Priest. I know this would mean a lot of spell updates.
By updates, do you mean the spells that you have would remain the same, however they do different things, or does it mean the spells are going to completely change and each priest is going to be known for something different than what they're known for now?
I think the answer to that is both.
How can it be both?
That they're going to take some spells and revamp them. Okay, so you like not all of them, but there's going to be some spells that are currently there, and they're just going to revamp their effect. I know this is going to happen to almost every single damage spell. They're all going to get revamped. But in addition to that, they're also going to be looking at balancing out the different priests and addressing the issue of player priests. Not sure exactly how that's going to be addressed perfectly.
So they're going to bring back the whole gods. The original priests, the original four?
The original four never left. They're still going to.
Yeah,
they're still
there. They're gonna bring them back to their prime, or to make them more desirable. And
right. Here's the problem.
That.
I'm not sure exactly the details, and they've been very hushed about it. I wouldn't be surprised if we come out of this where the original priests are much, much stronger compared to the player priests. That's a possibility. Although it's possible that's not going to happen, but you know, at this moment, it feels like anything can happen. Like,
does anybody have any secret information they can share with us? I guess that's
now, one thing I know that they're also mentioned, and again, I'm not sure exactly what it means, but what they've mentioned is that the restrictions on priests are going to be changed.
Changed or removed? What was the word?
Right. It wasn't either of those words. Although the gist of it, and this is again, this is Buddha being very cryptic as always. They mentioned restrictions. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was regard like it made it. They made it sound like they weren't completely getting removed, so there will still be restrictions on priests, but that they're going to change them so that being a solo priest will be easier.
Okay.
Now,
So
whatever that means.
easing the restrictions that they have so that you can function as a normal Wormian.
Right.
Now, like Fabricant's saying here, is it a rebalancing? Or is of these like gods? Or is it a complete overhaul?
Now, I also know that it's going to be an overhaul in terms of how players become gods, because one thing that they've said is that the current system is not like future like thought out. It's not thought out for long term. It was a
Yeah.
great idea to begin with, where players can become gods, but it's become very obvious that as time goes on, there's just going to be countless gods, and it's going to be just convoluted. So they basically said that they're going to revamp the system so that it's future proof. You know what I mean? For the longevity of the system, which I really like. I like the idea. I like that they're focusing on making sure that the system won't get out of control.
Now, as a priest, since you're the priest, not I'm the priest, so for all the priests out there, what are your emotions that are going through you right now?
For
How do you
me,
feel?
I am super excited. I am
So you're
super excited
about the change, not fearful that you will become too different and not have what what you molded your priest for.
Yeah, here's the thing. I've played the priest to the end, in my opinion, of like what I wanted to do, and I've achieved the goals that I've wanted to achieve, and what this change to me feels like is like a new start to sort of experiencing the whole priest
How about
process.
if you didn't want a new start?
True. So, like, if you're in that situation where you're still building your priest, I can see how one might be disappointed that what they're building it towards might change. But I have confidence that what it's going to change to will just be more exciting than what is currently there. If you know what
Now
I
I'm
mean.
getting there's something. Is there something wrong with our stream? Please let us know. I'm starting to see quite a few issues. Let me see. I think it's me, actually. Maybe I
Could it
just
be your
broke my internet.
internet? Well, I'm hearing you just fine, so at least that part is there.
Let me try one thing here. Oops.
I'm getting my basement redone, and so
Yeah.
one of the things I'm making sure of is that a hard wire is going down here for my internet.
Are you getting somebody to build that for you, or?
Yeah. Yeah, and that'll make a big difference, I
Nice.
think.
For sure. I'm trying to stop something right now. So I'm getting a lot of drop frames. That's what I see. Yeah, so tell me if it's still problematic. I just closed a couple things in hopes that it will help. Oop, that was me.
Interestingly, I did not get a report. Yeah, I did not get a report for this deed yet.
Really?
And I kept getting the message, you cannot find any remnants of a deed here.
That's interesting. Where are you doing that?
You know, where our house was.
That's odd. So one thing that you notice when you're actually doing the restoration process on these unidentified fragments is first it asks you to chisel, like everything it asks you to chisel. And as you're going through the process, it keeps asking you to chisel over and over again until it asks you to brush it with the metal brush.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it asks you to do the metal brush, it never goes back to chiseling. So it's never a back and forth process. It's one or the other. But even though it says metal brush, you could still chisel it.
I did notice that, and I'm wondering if there's any advantage to doing that.
I feel like there was a big disadvantage.
Okay.
For continuing chiseling.
So I wonder why it just doesn't allow you, like every other skill in this game would. Do you know what I mean? Why give you the option to use the chisel? I mean, like every other game. I mean, every other system in this game where if it switches to a different tool, it just doesn't allow you to do it. Like if you're improving something, for example, and it starts calling for like a carving knife and you're activating a pelt, it won't let you use the pelt. Why doesn't it just do that?
Well, saying that you can use the opposite tool, it raises the difficulty and reduces less weight. Does that mean it allows you to use less fragments to get more skill out of them?
Right. That does sound like you could use that strategy to get more skill.
Like now.
Like as long as it doesn't affect the outcome of the final product.
It doesn't seem like it does.
Right, so as long as the outcome of the final product isn't changed, it then seems like a better strategy to use the opposite tool.
Possibly. Let's give it a shot. I've been getting, let's say, 0.026.
0.026 in restoration.
And now I'm gonna get attacked by it.
I got 0.3. You know, I found out that Wurm Assistant can track your skills in real time and give you like how fast the skills are going up.
Ooh, are you using it?
I have it installed and I did try to use it a couple times, but I didn't realize that it had that capability.
That's quite nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we can use this as like...
Wait, so how are you getting 0.03?
I mean, that's what I've gotten so far in
Your skill's
restoration.
higher than mine. So I'm doing something wrong, or I got a much worse tool than you do.
I
Did you
might
give me the crap
have.
tools?
Well, the ones I gave you weren't crappy.
Are you trying to
Like
justify it? It's not, like
I
it's not the
did give you
worst
the one with
tools.
the
Like,
lower number,
it's
but
like
it's not
great
by all that much.
tools. No, like you got amazing tools. Like they got numbers, and those numbers are pretty
Yeah.
high. That's the problem with me not being the blacksmith. All right,
It's
so let's
not the blacksmithing part, it's the priest part.
priest part. All right,
Isn't
I'm
it?
seeing restoration, a horrible skill, 0.009. Using the wrong tool.
Okay.
Use the correct tool.
I think you get about the same, no?
Restoration, first one was 0.018.
Okay, that's like twice as much.
Let's see if I get another restoration tick here. Not yet. Do you turn on climb?
So I did turn on climb. What I feel that turning on climb does, you get about the same amount of skill per time, but because the action timers are longer, the limited fragments that you have will last longer. So to me, it just means that you'll be able to skill a period of time and thus get more skill out of the same amount of fragments. But I don't think it's going to make it go any faster. Now, that's only what my feeling is. I should probably do some tests with the Wurm assistant.
That would be nice, yeah.
And test it out now that I know that it exists. I know that there's also simulations. You could... some people have programmed simulations where you can get it to crank through what Wurm would do if you went through like 5,000 actions of something using, this quality tool, this enchant, such as.
That's interesting. Do they have any, findings posted?
I'm sure that there are some here and there, but not in anywhere that you can go look, read up on everything that you would want to know. It would be a huge spoiler. Right?
It would, but yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
And are
Me
you
too.
okay with that if your favorite game gives you 4 digits to the right of the decimal point on skills, that you must be a nerd?
I would probably agree with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. So anyway, back to the whole priest thing. So apparently they're not just changing the priests. They're changing combat. As much as people know, or as much as you know, what should we expect?
I
How
am not
high
100%
of our
sure on
hopes
this
should
either.
be?
I don't think that there are... Okay, go ahead.
Should we expect a completely revamped combat system that will act differently? Or
Okay. You tell me when I can start talking.
Yeah. Or should we expect just little tweaks here and there, changing some resistance, changing some percentage numbers? What do you think?
I don't think that we should get our hopes up that the entire experience of combat in this game is going to change. I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just saying that I don't think that we should ramp this up to more than like mountain blade style combat and reaction click based combat. I don't think that's going to change. I could be completely wrong, but I wouldn't want to get my hopes up.
Okay, so let's say they did that change. How would you feel?
I'd be happy with it. Although at the same time, I would question whether or not the lag to the servers is going to provide anybody with an advantage over somebody. Like, even if it's just based on the location of you compared to where the server is. Whenever you are dealing with reaction-based combat, that's PvP, lag is always an issue. And this game is notorious for having high latency due to just the fact that their servers are in one spot in the world. So I probably wouldn't be too excited about it if it did come in like a mountain blade style reaction based combat system.
Now, a lot of people mention Mountain Blade. Mountain Blade, reaction, because it's easy to give the impression of what kind of system that people sort of would like the Mountain Blade reactionary system where you have a shield and you can swing your sword and all that sort of thing. But it's not the only option. Mm. It's not the only... it's not Wurm or a reactionary system. So it's like Wurm's combat, or can there be a place or some kind of combat system that would fit better within the Wurm's mold? In the sense that if you look at other professions and the way that they work and the way that they are challenging to begin and then hard to kind of master, what could they do in Wurm's combat? See, the problem with I've always found with Wurm's combat is not that it's not reactionary, but that it's not something that you can master. There's no... It's very two-dimensional for a Wurm skill.
Well, the thing about Wurm is that what does mastery mean? For the most part, it just means that your skill got high enough, and then that way you can imp things to higher, or insert the materials easier, have low action timers. With fighting, you definitely get to the point where you can quote unquote master it, in the sense that you can walk up to a troll and not have to worry that you're gonna die. But aside from that, like, when you say master, do you mean...
I'll give you an example.
Mastered in the way that you're like your person skill, like your skill with the game gets better, like it would in, let's say, a first-person shooter, and your skill is getting better, but it's like your skill, not your character's skill number.
Right. Your understanding of it can get better so that you can be better at it.
I see. It's like the meta game.
I mean, this is how it is. Wurm doesn't tell you if you're a breeder. They don't tell you, oh, these are the traits that you really want, and this is how you do it. And you learn that over time by studying it and studying the art of breeding. And
Right.
then the actual actions is not important. It's your knowledge behind the actions that are important. Where is that in combat?
There's a little bit of it, but you're right. It's definitely lacking.
Especially in PvE. I'm not talking about PvP. We're not PvPers.
Right.
Where's that in PvE? And could they introduce something like that in PvE that's not, what's the word? Like antagonizingly, I don't know, just something that
Tedious.
doesn't work. Tedious in the way that it's all about, let's say, different armor sets that you would have to build and keep swapping in and out or something. Could be something else. Could it be the position that you're standing in relation to the person, the thing that you're attacking?
Yeah,
And
they definitely need. They need to improve something about. Like they have all this whole system where you can choose which direction you're going to swing from, right? And maybe there's more to it in PvP, but in PvE, the strategy is just aim for the head, and that'll do the most damage, and you don't really have to think about it. So yeah, I think that they could improve that in terms of, making like where you swing different in different situations and change, let's say, dynamically throughout the fight. And one other thing that I think that the combat system is lacking is engagement. For the most part, you set yourself up and you maybe aim for the head, and then you let it sit there for the rest of the time, and you don't have to change anything or click anything or do anything.
Could
And
it be
you just
more like a quick chess game or something? Something
like a little mini
like
game.
strategic, more little.
Okay.
Something in the sense that, not that you're playing chess, but that you get the whole idea that there's some kind of strategy taking place that you would have to follow, and the PvE character, so like the gator or whatever, also has something that it's trying to follow, and you're trying to during the battle you're trying to counter what they're doing, and as well as trying to gain an advantage while they're trying to counter what you're doing and gain an advantage.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what that would look like, though, in terms of, like, I don't know. Like, would that be real time? Like, I'm just going to do this, and
It could be
is
real
it like
time,
turn or
when you
turn
think-
based?
when you think real time, though, don't think of it as like I swing my sword and I have to see that the sword's being swung so that I can react to bring my shield up. More
Right.
like,
I wasn't thinking like that.
like, yeah, real time, but over a longer period of time. It gives you time to react to whatever.
Like, for example, I'm going to aim at your head, and you see me aim at your head, but if you don't react in time, that's fine. I'm just going to swing at your head, and then later you decide to block up so that you're blocking towards the...
Don't even think of it like that at all.
Okay.
I would say that it would be something... It would be something less like that, less like the whole Mountain Blade system.
No. I mean, like, with these buttons that we're pressing, aim to the head or aim to the side, but where there would be sort of something where you can also see where your opponent is defending towards, at the same time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and that was in a whole bunch of games like War of the Roses and
No, but
can't
War of
remember
the
the other
Roses
one.
was I like literally swing and you're watching my animation swing and I have to block to the left before the swing comes in. I'm talking more like you have that worm panel where I can aim up or down or to the left or to the right or whatever. So I click on that sword and I aim that way. And that makes my attacks in that direct like come from that direction and do wounds to that
That would
spot.
work well. That would work well for PvE or PvP.
PvP, right? And then the other person can see, oh, that like currently it kind of works that way, right? Because if you're watching the combat tab, you can see which direction your opponent's attacking from, and then to block. I'm not even sure. Can you switch to block from that direction?
You can. You should be able to.
Like, where is the place where you can switch where you block? I guess it's because I'm not holding a shield that I don't see it.
Are you fighting something?
I was, but not anymore.
It's not really what I was thinking of at all.
Okay, so what were you thinking?
In the sense that I would love to have a system in combat that you would be earning different skills throughout your journey through the combat, right? Something
Okay.
more than just I'm attacking this direction because I have this item, right? So what could you do with the sword? What could you do with the axe? What are the different techniques that you could learn? And in those techniques, what kind of actions could you learn and skill up? And then with those actions, what kind of way could you counter those actions if you were an opponent? Now, then you would give some sort of action, some sort of technique to each animal, depending on the type of animal they are.
I see. So what you're saying is there might be like a lunge action or a slash action or a chop action or something.
So get rid of the whole combat little window that we have now, and how about
Okay.
stuff that actually can become more reactionary? Did we ever play Age of Conan? I did play Age of Conan for a bit, and I did find it interesting, the way that they had their actions and that sort of thing. I don't remember it being something that stayed in my mind as a good starter combat system.
It looks like
I
we
would
missed Skyfalls, who said, if you use a shovel, you're going to raise the overall difficulty, which seems to give you a higher level of item, but also lowers the amount of fragments you get and overall quality. But stuff about using opposite quality is still being debated on forums at the moment. And hello, by the way. Hello.
Hello, Skyfalls.
So, opposite tools still being debated. From our feeling, at least, I think that using the opposite tool is not beneficial, at least for skilling up.
What do you mean the opposite tool?
Like
Opposite
if
quality?
it's calling for no, if it's calling for a chisel and you use a brush. This is back to the archaeology.
This is saying, but stuff about using opposite quality is still being debated on the forums.
Yeah, but followed up by sorry, opposite tool.
Oh, sorry, opposite tool. Okay. Yeah, that didn't work at all for us.
Yeah.
In the sense, it was
Okay,
not
so
giving more experience. Much
so
less.
in Age of Conan, the defense system had it so that it was like you can move the shield around.
Yeah, and that's cool. Just like some of the other games that we mentioned already.
Right.
That would work great in PvP. So I'm not sure why they're doing this whole combat revamp if it's for PvP and it's just going to kind of get put onto us PvE players. It won't, as a PvE combat system, it's not that exciting. I don't think it'll change much for us.
Well, we don't know what the change is going to be, so I think it's too early for us to make a judgment about whether or not it's going to affect us any.
They would need to have something that completely changes the game, like the cooking system did for cooking. Something that you would have to study, something that you would have to learn.
One thing that was said was that the whole combat rating system is going to be out the window.
I don't even remember what it was.
Well, the combat rating system is the thing that that the game uses to determine whether or not you're going to hit when you swing. And it has to do with I think there's like a formula for what your combat rating is, and it's based on your fight skill, and it's based on, and you get bonuses to your combat rating based on your height advantage. This is why you would want to be, if you're on foot against an opponent, you want to be higher ground than them because that gives you a bonus. If you're on a horse, that gives you a bonus to combat rating, and all sorts of other things. And depending on what your combat rating is compared to your opponent, there's a formula to determine how easy it is for you to hit, like what percentage of time you're going to hit compared to your opponent. This is why if you're a brand new player and you're fighting, a spider, it will feel like the spider's hitting you over and over again, and you're not able to hit it. Like, you just think to yourself, if I were just able to hit it, I'd do damage to it, but you just keep swinging away and missing, and the reason is because the spider's combat rating is much higher than yours.
I do like some of what you said in the sense that, like, I'm hoping they're not getting rid of it, like an advantage when you're, up over an enemy than if you're lower than an enemy. Mm-hmm. So if you're at a higher height range, that would be better. So I hope that they keep some of that stuff in
I do think that they
respect.
Yeah, I do think they're going to not only keep those things, but also add more to them. But it's not going to be calculated based on something called combat rating. The thing that we want to try to avoid, and I think it's reasonable.
They're not just going to change the name of combat rating, are they?
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be done. I mean, really, combat rating is just a mathematical number that they can use in equations to determine outcome. So they're still going to have to use mathematical equations to determine outcome. It just won't be based on this thing called combat rating, which it's hard to say what they'll use. But what it could mean is moving towards more of a skill-based thing. Because combat rating is something you don't really have control over as a player. Like, you can't press a button to increase your ability. Like, the only thing you really did have power over is trying to get higher ground, or being on a horse, and that was it. Once you made that choice or had that, like, it's pretty much set. There's nothing else you could do about making.
I would love that. Even as far as PvE goes, having more of a system that's like weapon skill related, in the sense, sort of like, and not, I hate to give this example, but it's kind of similar to like Guild Wars 2, how when you change your weapon, it changes the skills that you have the ability to use for that weapon.
I like that.
Okay, so in the sense that you would have a sword, let's say, a broadsword or something, and you would start off just like we are now, and you would just be able to swing the sword, and then you would learn the ability to, I don't know, lunge with the involved with the sword, and that would become one of your skills. And you would have, let's say, in a battle, a specific amount of these skills that you're learning for that sword available to you. Let's say 4. Let's say 3, whatever number is. So it's like you decided ahead of time that your sword, you want to be able to, I don't know, lunge or parry or whatever crap that you want to do with it. And this is where the whole thing where I said, sort of like chess, where you'd have to choose which, like what you want to go into battle with for that weapon. And when you're fighting an alligator or something, or you're fighting a rat, or you're fighting a troll, it would change what you'd want to go in, what you would want to load up.
Maybe this could be in the form of stances as opposed to just weapons. Like,
and you could have ones that do have to counter each other during the battle, let's say.
Right.
So you can have that engagement. So you can have, the troll is going to do something like lunge at you, so you have to do some kind of parry or something, or dodge in time if you really want to do it that way. And then if you switch weapons to like an axe, well, you don't have any skills in axes, so you basically are starting from scratch. You have to level up the axe.
They could. I like this idea of like, loading up different abilities. I know one thing that they did say is that they're going to be changing those special moves and how they work. I do think currently those special moves are pretty. Either they're unbalanced or they're not. They either don't work well or they work too well, depending on.
Think of it though, like a card game or something. Like you earn the ability to play this card, or you earn the ability to play that card. You earn the ability to play the parry card or whatever, and you would have to, imagine just how many possible combinations that there could be if you did something like this. And every weapon would have this many kind of skills available for you, and then you would have this many different kind of combos that you could use, like which kind of deck are you going to build or whatever that you want to call it, and then how well are you going to match up against whatever you're fighting. I feel like that would be a nice start to a combat system that's worthy to be in a game like Wurm. So imagine how much you would have to learn.
That is true. I do like the idea of adding more things that we'd have to learn.
Right, because right now,
what I love about this game,
for combat, you pick up your weapon, and then you just stand there and hope that you kill whatever you're fighting. And yes, there's a whole bunch of numbers behind it. There's a whole bunch of mathematical formulas that are taking place during the battle. But we didn't have to make any of those decisions. Our choice was, which weapon do I like best?
Yep. And hey, Reganation. Welcome to the stream.
Hope you're doing well tonight. Shadow of the Avatar, which I actually been wanting to play. I haven't really wanted to play in a while. I don't know how it's doing now, but I used to look at the game a lot. So what happened there? You build decks of skill called glyphs. As you unlock new skills for that weapon, then you can make your own combat decks as you're used during combat. That sounds interesting. Maybe something like that. I'm not sure exactly what you do with all those skill glyphs and for weapons, and I don't know if it's like a skill tree type situation, or dex is that more like a card deck sort of thing? But yeah, I don't know. Wurm could use something more complex. Let's just put it at that. Imagine just I picked up like 50 fragments right off the get-go.
Okay.
Filled up my inventory.
Yeah.
Within moments. And ever since, I've been trying to restore those fragments.
Right.
For like the longest time after.
I do understand why they do that, though, is because there's not that many tiles. It doesn't take all that long to get through all the tiles on, let's say, a deed. But if you want to create an activity where you're going to have enough actions to skill, the way to do it. Like, this just gives you lots of skilling actions.
There you go. They pop up during combat on your combat bar. And Wurm could use something like that. It would be nice to have a combat bar. Something that you could build, you could change, and you could make your own. Well, how much skill did you get? Let's see what you're at.
So
In
my archaeology.
restoration,
Okay, in restoration,
how much change did you get? How much skill did you get this round?
0.98.
And in archaeology?
0.85.
So restoration, I've gotten so far 1.9.
Okay.
And in archaeology, I've gotten 1.5. However, I'm at 47 restoration and 43 archaeology.
See, I don't know how you got your two skills are so close to each other. 47 and 43. That's only 4 apart.
Yeah.
And yet mine is at 61 and 52. And they've been that far apart for a long time.
Wow.
Like, there was a point where my restoration just skyrocketed compared to my archaeology. I felt like mostly because I was doing I was restoring for a long time, and the restoration was getting far more skill than archaeology, like twice as much with each restoring action. So I felt like it just skyrocketed away.
Restoration does get a lot more than archaeology. When you're doing restoration, you get a lot more restoration skill.
So I felt like I got 10 more skill points in restoration than
Maybe
archaeology.
you have to just sit there and just do archaeology.
Right. If you want your archaeology skill to go up, which I think is the more important skill, right? Like, that's the one that determines
you
what.
Just do archaeology, and then you just toss away the fragments and then just do more archaeology.
I had half the mind of doing that, but then I thought of how many statue fragments are in there.
I guess you'll never know.
Never know, yeah. But we need to just do archaeology. Just go from deed to deed to deed to deed, especially if you have like a little area that you live in that you could keep, circling through the deeds. Just collect all the shards, either junk them or put them in storage.
Well, this is the thing. It looks like, from my mess of stuff that I actually have a statue of a mountain lion fragment. One of 46. I think that's my first ever statue fragment that I've ever gotten.
Is it?
Tell.
No, I don't
You've
think so.
You've gotten them.
Well,
I've just been too low of level to get one.
I sifted through a big pile of stuff that you had dropped on the ground, and I found 2 statue fragments in there.
Well, I just threw away some statue fragment. I don't remember.
Yeah, this was back at the Labyrinth.
Really? Are you sure that wasn't your
Yeah.
pile?
I'm pretty sure that I was just looking through the pile that was on the ground that you had left there.
That's kind of funny. Maybe somebody else did it while they were visiting the labyrinth. I don't know.
No.
Have we found any rare pieces from restoration? I found a couple rare pieces. One was a rare peg, and the other one was something similar, like a rare shaft or something.
And I found a rare marble brick fragment.
Nice.
And a rare crude pickaxe fragment. Which, here's another crude pickaxe fragment. So when we get back to the boat, I can make a rare crude pickaxe.
Blade?
I wonder what.
Or actual
Nope.
pickaxe?
The actual pickaxe.
Nice.
But it's a crude one.
A nice crude pickaxe. That's rare.
Which I don't think can be
improved at all.
It won't be improvable, and won't be able to repair it. Not sure what it's good for.
Nice. Well, you know what? Whatever they decide for the combat system, I feel like that for the most part, people will be happy that something was done.
Right.
Just because I think people have been wanting something to be done for so long.
Right. Since the game came out.
Yeah. Somebody wanted something to change and thank you, The Ascorbic. Sorry, it was like, I don't know why the text is so big on the screen there. The Ascorbic. It says the Ascorbic just, and that was it.
Right. So in the chat, you can see just subscribe with Twitch Prime. Sweet.
Yay,
thank you, Absorbic. Awesome.
Anyway,
so that's something. The Twitch Prime subscribes. Yeah. These are if you're a Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, is this right? If you have Amazon Prime, then you can gift a sub once a month. That's how that works. Amazon Prime is like that service Prime. Is just. I know I got it because it just seems so useful for some reason. There's so many different little things that you get from it that it almost makes it feel worth it. Ooh, I just got a rare fragment. Let's see what it ends up being.
Ooh, thank you, Reganation, for just did something. I really should fix that on the screen. Just subscribe with tier 1 sub. Oh, thank you very much. We really should figure out what that means.
Thank you. We appreciate it so much, even though we're not sure exactly what it means. I do know that there's some. It's a monetary thing, if I'm not mistaken. So tier 1 is like something that gives us money, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I don't know, but it sounds really cool. Tier 1. Anyway,
we'll have to figure it out. Thank you so much.
What do you think of this idea? Just randomly, just popped in.
Okay.
A wagon. Why? Like, should we be able to unhitch like 2 animals at a time instead of all 4? Or like one animal. Can we unhitch one animal?
I
Why
see.
can't we? And should we be able to?
I think you can unhitch one animal. However, the mechanism for doing it is not ideal, I think, at this point. So, like, if you're riding a wagon, if you're commanding the wagon, I think you can click on one horse and unhitch it, and that one horse will get unhitched. But for some reason, when you're angled at certain angles, if you try to right-click one of the front horses, it's far away from the horse to unhitch it. So like, I think I found that if you rotate it a bunch, rotate the wagon, eventually at some point in some position it allows you to unhitch the front one.
I love how if you just like rotate the just a little bit to the side, you'll be able to eventually unhitch that horse. It doesn't make any sense that you would have to do that, but it's really funny. Thank you.
And thank you, Riga Nation. Again, thank you so much. That's so gifted a tier 1 sub to Stardog.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow, we're gonna have to learn a whole bunch of stuff, I think, to take
no
advantage of this. Somebody's saying it means you have to make some emotes for people Twitch. So we can make our own emotes and then make it so that subscribers can use those emotes. That's awesome.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Gonna have to see what those emotes actually are.
Thank you, 16. So okay, this is making sense. So if people who are subscribed get to use emotes, and then Riga Nation is gifting subs to other people, that'll give those people the power to use those emotes. Is that right?
That does seem like that's what it would be.
That's awesome. So we should make some Wurm emotes.
Now, what I was thinking, that one actually worked. JCast7 just subscribed. Thank you very much for the subscription. My headset is about to die because their battery.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that's going to affect, but I might all of a sudden not be able to hear anybody. But before that, I wanted to finish my idea of this whole thing about unhitching horses.
Okay.
I feel so they're going to make some big push towards new players. They want to, I don't know, update this game to a specific point, and at that point, they're gonna, whoa. Onda J. Oh, sorry. Onda EDJ. Why does it not display your name properly when it displays on the screen? So, thank you for the subscription.
And did we thank JCast as well? JCast,
I believe so. Thank you. JCast. What am I saying? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Too much going on in the actual stream. So they want to update the game to a point where it's kind of ready. And this has been going on for a long time, but they have a plan right now. They go, okay, we're going to make this big push. We're going to update the game. We've got all this feedback.
The renderer.
We got all this feedback from Wurm Unlimited.
Right.
When they released Wurm Unlimited, players complained about this, and that, and we're going to fix those problems, and we're going to make it so they don't exist anymore, and players will like the game more. And when we get to that point, here's the line. That line is when we've reached the point where we have addressed all these problems, and then we're going to release the game. Right? Then we're going to make a big push to
we're going to really release the game.
Yeah, we're going to have a push where we advertise it, and I don't know, they'll do something, I'm sure, that makes it more known that Wurm is ready.
Ready.
Again. Wurm is.
And it's true. They're They're working on the combat system. They just redid the whole renderer and made the graphics look amazing. They're working next on the UI, which is going to
But
be what?
here's the problem.
Okay, there's a problem.
Yeah. So what's happened is, let me just turn this up. All the people that have complain about the first initial impression or shortly thereafter. And that's what they're working towards. So when I say the ability to unhitch one horse, or the ability to unhitch two horses, or whatever, like the choice of unhitching, and it somehow excites Wormians to hear that. Right? This would not be something written on the Wurm Unlimited comments section about something that nagged these people to death, so that's why they quit the game or whatever. But it's still justifiably important to polish this game up, to do something like that.
Right.
Now think about all of those kinds of things that could be polished. Do we need to make, like, this Wurm, the Wurm players need to make a list like this that the developers could use to reach that point where the game feels ready? Because this can't be the only example.
Right.
And
we encountered many of those examples in the Labyrinth.
Only Wurm players would know about these things, right? We are experienced about these quality of life things, or just weird feature bugs, or weird,
like how we can get stuck in walls.
Like, and we're talking about that there are things that are very apparent, like, well, player comes in and they try to chop down a tree by clicking on a tree, and you can't click on a tree. All right, that's one thing, right? But then there's things like unhitching a horse, or going through outside of a mine that leads to a wall and then breaking into, like, basically clipping into the wall and breaking your character. Yeah, we found that out in the Labyrinth a lot. What do you feel? There's got to be a big list like this somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, and I don't know if anybody can think of anything this second in the chat or later on YouTube of more of those things, but I almost feel like we should start creating or writing down any issues that we come across that we feel will help the game out. If only the game had this or that, or this, I'm sure everybody can think of this long list of things that they personally wished would change in the game, and they might not think it's important. But let's say the developer, some developer tackles any part of this list. Like, imagine how much more enjoyable the game will be for not only us, so like longtime Wormians, but players that come into the game, enjoy the game, take benefit out of whatever changes that they're already planning on making with the UI and the combat system and that sort of thing. And then when they continue into the game, their experience will just become that much better.
I think this is a good idea. We need to write this stuff down.
And in saying that, and I'm missing completely, sorry guys, anything that's being said in the chat.
Casper is saying, speaking of polish, I'm really curious to hear what you guys think of the sky color polish I did in the last Ultima Nostalgia episode. Unfortunately,
okay, I'm just 1 second. I'm hoping you're not saying anything important, because my headset just died. All right, I can hear you again. Okay, so because my headset died, it made your volume go away. That is funny. Okay, let me just see, guys, what I can do here. All right. Can I hear you now, Adam?
Can you hear me? Yes. Yes. No. Maybe.
I mean, I can always hear you. I think that
Oh,
you're
you.
back. Can people hear Adam now?
Nice. 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 Okay. So, what do you say we take a quick ride up to the north deed?
Okay, so we'll go.
I'm very
I
interested to see
I
that one
am
too.
getting. You know what? I'm just gonna dump this stuff. I don't.
I know. I have a ton of lumps and
I just have to make sure I don't dump the statue.
have all these shards, marble shards.
Or
I
large
mean, I do have
nails.
this rare marble shard brick fragment. Is that
Alright,
worth
I think I'm
keeping and
good.
trying
I
to
think I'm good.
combine it? Yeah.
Here, let's just see. What did I end up getting? I guess nothing. I didn't really.
Well, okay. Here's what you need to do. You need to definitely keep any tool fragments.
Uh-oh, I just dumped everything already. I'm sorry.
Well, well, keep any tool fragments because when you put them together, there's a chance you get like uh like you might get a chisel that has a rune on it, that one of the random runes. So anything that's like a tool fragment, keep that. I guess the rule of thumb would be keep anything that if you were to put it together, you could potentially, it could be something that you use on a regular basis, like a hatchet or a
Yeah, I didn't
stone.
really have anything. I might have had some hatchet blades or something.
The blades are less. Although, if you, let's say, have a hatchet blade that has those runes on it and you connect it with a shaft, will those runes stay? I think it. I think it will.
It's a good possibility. So you used to live not far from Puzzle Plaza. Which side of Puzzle Plaza did you live on?
The east or the west? That's. Can you find ruin pieces? I don't think you can find ruin pieces.
I
It's
would
just that
love
one.
archaeology to be more than just masks and statues and tools that have special properties.
So, what would you add to that?
Like ruin pieces.
Okay.
Special materials? How about that?
I mean, they did add the Valray items. You picked up one.
Special materials that you could use
Okay.
to create special items.
So something along the same lines as moon metals or that sort of thing, or a completely new material that makes completely new
Different things. Yeah, how about
special
that?
abilities.
How about different kinds of materials that would create special items? So instead of me collecting statue fragments of statues that I can't create, how about a material like a finely something, some kind of fine rock or something that would allow me to be able to use it to create statues that I'm not able to create without it. Using the same skill. They really, do I remember this road? I don't know if I remember this road being so wide. Was it that wide?
It may not have been 2 tiles wide, but I do kind of remember
I remember
getting
at some point it did get expanded to
yeah, it
2
got
tiles
expanded
wide.
to 2 tiles. So this is the road.
This is so cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
remember
going
there
back.
being a mine that had either gold or silver or something, and this was like the only source that we had
Mm,
was the mine up here.
right. It was up here. Yeah, it was silver. You know what? I'd like to stay up here for a little while. We should just like leave our cart somewhere.
Yeah, I would love to.
Because I definitely want to fill out that report at Puzzles. I don't think I even
It's the
got a
old
report,
town.
but I'm feeling that was a bug. I don't know. I feel that it shouldn't have continued to tell me that there wasn't a settlement there, and there for sure was.
I was the owner of Hollow Springs, says the Asorbic.
Hollow Springs, that name rings a bell.
It does.
Huh.
There used to be a deed here that would always block us from going
Yes.
down, and now there's no
There's just a few palisades left.
hint of a deed. Yeah, look
Wow,
at this
there's
place.
a nice deed up here.
That boat's about to die. Wow,
Oh yeah.
that deed
Oh
was
yeah.
not there. Was
Should we
this?
stop to repair it?
No, no, we
No.
shouldn't.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, this deed was there was a deed in here when we came,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as far out as that. It was just to the left of this road. And I mean, you know, actually, I
Wow.
might be wrong. It might have expanded to this place, but this is definitely all done relatively recently.
All
After
right.
the new walls, anyway. After the new walls have been put in.
This, this doesn't look anything at
Yeah.
all remotely like I can't even. I
Yeah.
can't even
So
picture where our deed was. It was here,
our
wasn't it?
deed was all the way out here. It probably started somewhere around here.
Yeah. Now
And it
I
was
don't recognize this.
this whole area was the deed. It was right to the shore.
Let's see.
Little corner.
Let's see if there's any remaining traces. Do you think that we put any of these wooden planks down?
It's possible.
I know we did put some down. I don't know if they were at all in this area. And I remember putting the planks down to remove parts of the marsh.
Right. There was a ton of marsh here. That's right. Yeah.
And I don't recognize any of this though. I mean, other than the area in general
Right. Right.
and the marsh.
Yeah. There used to be a road that went west from here that had a ton of deeds along it.
Wow.
I do remember this area being popular because it was like right up against the coast. It's the north coast, which means that it faces Indy. And when the server opened, I've heard that there were boats lined up on the on the other side on Indy, all waiting to go to the new land. And when they crossed over, this area was like it's right in the center of Deliverance, facing Independence. So this area got populated. There's a lot of deeds up here.
I don't even know where to begin here. I guess here. I'm going to see, okay, just a little bit. I'm going to see if I can find our deed.
So it is telling me that there was a deed here. Hillbilly Harbor. That wasn't us, though.
Yeah, I don't think that was us.
We
Hillbilly
either
Harbor.
named it Winter's Night or Spring Dawning. One of those names for sure.
This is the only deed I don't remember. what we called it.
Remember the name? Yeah. Are these fence opens? Oh, I have no more space in my inventory.
All right, I also saw Hillbilly Harbor. And this whole place is picked clean.
Ooh, I got a statue of a mountain lion fragment.
Nice. It didn't take long.
Can we get into these pens, or are they locked?
Could there have been somebody that just came by and picked clean this area, or our area is just not able to be used as an archaeology tile? Hillbilly Harbor again. It's got to be more than that one deed. No?
Can we get into these pens? Is there a... I mean, we could bash the fence, yes?
Is it a deed? Are we on a deed?
Oh, here's a door that's locked.
No.
I don't think it's a deed, because we wouldn't be able to do archaeology. Okay, I can go into this pen. Of course, there's a wolf here.
It doesn't look like it's gonna be easy for us to find our name of our old deed.
Okay, well, I'll try here.
But I
I
think,
am very curious.
yeah, I think we're gonna keep on trying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just got one. There used to be a deed here called Towering Oaks,
Okay.
and the mayor was Nefastus. I don't remember that deed at all.
I do remember that after we left,
It was
And-
deeded.
our deed fell, that another deed went up right
It was
after
like
that.
instant. And at
Like
that
instant.
time, deeds by the water, any water, on Deliverance was just such a prime location
Right.
that, there would be no way that a deed would stay that the water would stay undeeded for very long.
Mm-hmm. Well, here it is, undeeded. I guess now that Xanadu's out,
Yeah.
and the population is quite low these days, I think.
Well, those are the only two that I managed to find so far. And
I wonder if our archaeology skill gets better, do we get a better chance at discovering or filling out these reports? I would hope so, because as it is, it's very rare to get an entry into the report. I'm trying to remember how big our deed was. I don't think it was all that big.
I don't remember it being that big either, which is why
We were just new players.
kind of concerned here that it's been fenced off.
Here's an anaconda. Now, we do have the ability to bash this fence, and I don't think there's anything against the rules of doing that.
Fences
It would
off
only
deed
be
would take forever to bash.
It would only be unfortunate if a person is still using this area for something or other.
Like the person that just logged in?
Ooh, somebody logged in. And here's an anaconda. You don't see those every day, at least
Yeah.
on Xanadu.
there are reports. Yeah, there are reports. You have to make your own. You have to make your own journal.
Yeah, it's interesting how the system, how it works. I actually really like it.
Puzzles Port.
There it is. So we didn't name it at all Autumn Twilight.
It was called the Puzzles Port. That makes a lot of sense.
Puzzles Port, yes, because we had just made puzzles. Right, because we had always wanted a seaside, like a lakefront deed.
Yeah.
And we settled on Willow Pond because there was none. And then this spot opened up.
There it is. Our old lost deed. We forgot all about it. Even the name. Autumn, Twilight, Spring, Dawn. I don't know where we got getting these names. Puzzles Port. The deed we barely remember.
Oh, there is a fence missing here. On this side. Did you see this area?
It seems like it's would be way too far away from where we actually deeded. Yeah, I don't think we deeded all the way out there.
Over here?
You can try.
It's hard to tell. It's close.
Anyway, I'm pretty satisfied with that.
Mm-hmm.
We remembered Puzzle Port. We came all the way from where we had Autumn Twilight, where we had absolutely the only two things that were left for Autumn Twilight were the tower, Gar Tower, and that epic pillar that I made. And we went all the way to Puzzle Plaza, which we found was still there in the last episode. Puzzle Plaza, there in all its glory, pretty much the way that we left it. Because it was downsized, my labyrinth was gone that I created there, and our house that we used to live in was gone. And then we came all the way up to Puzzles and found that it was basically, still there in its shell. No one terraformed it. No one took anything. Even the, what is it called? The pavement was all still there. The mines were all still there. Some of our
Luigi
signs
head
were all still there. The Luigi head was still there.
Yeah.
And we managed to find our long lost deed. Puzzles Port.
I picked up a sign that I had planted so many years ago.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I love about this game, is that the mark that you can leave on this game, and the fact that I was able to find a sign that I could pick up and put in my inventory now that I planted, I don't know how many years ago, and it's still sitting there. That's just amazing to me.
It's true. This game does get have those touches in it, right? Those touches of like a real world environment, the Wurm world environment, or whatever you want to call it. But I think that, like, without the archaeology system, we would have never remembered the name of this deed. Not even a chance. So I love the fact that it's here. I love the fact that we can now stay here and remember, if we can uncover who the actual mayor was. Was it you? Was it me?
Yeah, I think you were the mayor of
who founded
Puzzles.
The deed. Who inhabited the deed?
Don't remember the
There's a whole bunch of
details.
stuff that we can still uncover. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can still uncover for puzzles, and I think that's exactly what we're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
in the next week or two. But until then, thank you everyone for watching our journey up and through Deliverance. We don't know exactly what we're going to do after this, but I'm sure we'll be back and we'll have something, and we'll obviously continue to talk more Wurm. Thanks everyone for joining us. We are going to continue to uncover our mysterious puzzles port. Have a good one, guys. See you guys later.